This is London's version of Times Square. Architecture is absolutely beautiful. They got the flags up for the Olympics. Fountain in the middle. Roads go around it. Their Times Square type billboard at the top. And they've got casinos everywhere, pubs, bars everywhere, everything you could want. It really has a New York feel and environment other than the fact that the architecture is beautiful. You're currently looking at Harrods. It's a 17-acre shopping mall. Everything that you cannot afford is in this one building. Everything you can afford is actually all around it. There's a lot of alleyways, as you can see on the left right there. I'm on one side of the road where there's also a lot of stuff, and they've got the British flags. The architecture is just gorgeous. You were looking at Wellington Arch, one of the first stops in my trip to London. Supposedly, Queen Victoria is the one who put a statue on top of the arch after it was already built. And to the left of this arch is a little memorial to Wellington. See one of the famous double-decker buses behind that. And I'm literally standing in the middle of a major intersection, so there are roads all around. There's a World War II memorial over here. And to the right of that is a World War I memorial for all those who have fallen. And one of the things about this castle was built in the year like 1066, and it was used to be the point of defense to control the river. And if you controlled the river, you controlled London. If you controlled London, you controlled England. So it got fortified over a period of about 800 years. Straight ahead, St. Paul's Cathedral. You can see some of the towers from it. Another view of the London Tower, castle from earlier. And we are currently standing on a sundial, which is ironic since London really never gets any sun. But it's a very nice and cool looking sundial. Just walked inside the London Tower. Definitely has a St. Augustine feel to it. The walls are absolutely massive. A little parking lot inside here for the employees. Standing in the middle of the courtyard. And the mess hall is right behind us. Just walked on one of the walls, coming out to the castle. It's one of the inner sanctums. Just came from the King's Quarter, in the King's Throne area. Walked up a few steps to get here.
I'm sorry.
And behind us is Tower Bridge. You can see they got the Olympic symbol up right now. Fun fact about London, it was actually first settled by Romans. It was called Lundium, and they settled here because it was the only place they can build a bridge across the river. And during that time, that's when people who lived in London were considered barbarians, and they obliterated and burned the entire city to the ground. And years later, local Britons settled the same area and then built up what is now London, because the road system was still somewhat intact even after it was destroyed. So while I'm aboard the London Eye, which is just the nickname for the giant Ferris wheel, which were completely encased in glass, some of it curved. Every hour on the hour, it rings. So in 5 more minutes, maybe we might be able to hear the Big Ben. So connected to this is actually the House of Lords, which is where they approve the law, similar to our Senate. Can't see that building from here. Going to turn slightly. The glass does kind of curve. See some boats in the river. We're having a typical London day, overcast, no sun. On the other side of the glass, I'm looking, you can see out. Got some skyscrapers. There really aren't allowed to get too many built here because of the historic presence of London. So you always need to get special permission to build any. The tallest skyscraper is known as the Shard. It's actually slightly to my right. This is where the majority of skyscrapers are. And I believe the curved one with the peak is known as the Shard. These are really the only towers and skyscrapers that are in London. See another double-decker bus driving by. The trains are very widely used here. As you can see, one of the train stations we've been on a few already. And their subway system is known as the Tube, not Subway. If you say the word Subway, they usually look at you with a "what the heck are you talking about" face. And their elevators are known as lifts, which I like the idea. It's because elevator is a very long word to say. So let's take the lift. And when you're going up any floor in hotels or in buildings, there's a ground floor and there's a first floor. And when you go to the first floor, it's actually called going up 1 or up 2. And that's the lingo they use. One of the other things going on is in a place called Wembley. There's actually the Wembley Arch, which is where the Olympics is being held. It's the 2012 Olympics. It's really hard to see. The I'm trying to zoom in the area. Way off into the distance, there's a very faded arch, white arch. That is actually where it's being held. They built stadiums just for the event, as well as hotels, and actually an entire airport terminal just for outgoing departures on that particular day. So Wembley is actually where I'm currently staying on this trip from that city. Each morning we wake up, we're right across the street from that stadium, and we drive into the city. Another view, Big Ben, House of Parliament. Now you can actually see House of Commons right across from that. Absolutely beautiful architecture here. You're looking at Wembley Stadium. This is where a lot of the main events for the 2012 Olympics are going to be held. And when I was at the London Eye, that's the white arch that I was looking for. You can see the Olympic symbol on the stadium. It's quite massive.